On the surface, Naomi Judd seemed the picture of perfection, a glamorous beauty living her dream life as a celebrated musician touring the country with her daughter Winona. But on the inside, there was pain and the persistent haunting of a difficult past.
Naomi Judd, one half of the legendary country duo, the Judds, left behind a legacy of music, resilience, and heartache when she tragically passed away. Her husband, Larry Strickland, remained mostly silent in the aftermath until now. In a deeply emotional and revealing moment, Strickland has finally spoken out about the unanswered questions surrounding Naomi's final days. So, what did Larry reveal that left fans stunned? And why did he wait so long to speak out? Join us. Naomi Judd's husband finally breaks silence on his wife, and it's bad. Naomi Judd and Larry Strickland's quiet romance. In a world where celebrity marriages often crumble in the spotlight, the love story between Naomi Judd and Larry Strickland was a rare kind of romance. Steady, enduring, and largely shielded from the glare of fame. While Naomi dazzled the world with chart-topping songs and commanding stage presence, behind the scenes, Larry was her rock, a grounding force in a life often swept up by stardom and storms. Their paths first crossed in the late 1970s, long before the Judds would become a household name. Naomi was a single mother working as a nurse in Nashville, hustling to support her two daughters, Winona and Ashley, while chasing dreams that felt impossibly far away. Larry Strickland, on the other hand, was already a seasoned performer in his own right, a gospel singer with deep Southern roots, raised in North Carolina, and a former member of Elvis Presley's backup group, the Stamps Quartet. They met through the tight-knit Nashville music scene. Larry's deep baritone voice and humble demeanor caught Naomi's attention, not just as a musician, but as a man of rare substance. It wasn't a whirlwind romance. Instead, theirs was a slow burn, built not on glamour or grand gestures, but on long conversations, quiet understanding, and mutual respect. Naomi, with her fiery spirit and complex past, found peace in Larry's steady presence. They married on May 4, 1989, at a time when Naomi was at the height of her musical career with Winona. But even amidst the accolades, Naomi longed for something more stable than applause. A partner who could stand beside her, not just during standing ovations, but in the silences that followed. Larry became that person. He didn't need the spotlight. In fact, he often avoided it. But he was always there, supportive, patient, and strong. Their bond was tested in the early 1990s when Naomi was diagnosed with chronic hepatitis C, a condition that forced her to retire from performing. At the peak of her fame, Naomi faced a terrifying and uncertain future. Through it all, Larry remained by her side. He became her caregiver, confidant, and cheerleader. In interviews, Naomi often credited Larry's unwavering support as the reason she was able to fight the disease and eventually enter remission. Unlike the flashbulb-heavy romances that often capture headlines, Naomi and Larry's love existed in the quiet corners of life. They enjoyed gardening, reading, and traveling together. They were often spotted hand-in-hand at charity events and low-key dinners, preferring simplicity over spectacle. Naomi, ever the storyteller, described Larry as a true Southern gentleman, and once said, "He's so gentle. I've never been with a man who handled me with such grace." But theirs wasn't a perfect fairy tale. It was a real relationship, forged in fire and softened by time. Naomi was open about her mental health struggles, and Larry remained her steadfast companion through the darkness. When Naomi released her memoir, River of Time, detailing her battles with depression and self-harm thoughts. Once again, Larry was there, quietly holding the line when everything else seemed to fall away. When Naomi tragically died just one day before she and Winona were to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, it was Larry who accepted the honor on her behalf. His voice quivered, his eyes wet with grief. But he stood tall, honoring the woman he had loved for over 3 decades. "She never met a stranger," he said, speaking not just to Naomi's fame, but to her boundless heart. While Naomi Judd and Larry Strickland shared a marriage that spanned over 3 decades and a public image that's adored by most, behind their public personas lay a complex relationship marked by profound love, personal struggles, and moments of deep turmoil. Now, Naomi Judd's husband has finally come out and breaks silence on his wife, revealing a side of the story that's shielded from the public's eyes, and it's bad. So, what has Larry come out to reveal? Let's delve into the darker side of their affair. A marriage of passion and pain. Naomi and Larry's union was characterized by intense passion. As Naomi described in her 1993 memoir, "Love Can Build a Bridge," stating they were wildly, madly, passionately in love. However, the marriage was not without its challenges. Larry's frequent absences due to his career as a backup singer for Elvis Presley and other commitments strained their bond. This distance contributed to feelings of loneliness and insecurity for Naomi. A particularly harrowing incident in their marriage came to light in the Lifetime docuseries The Judd Family. Truth be told, Larry confirmed that Naomi once fired a gun at him after discovering his infidelity. "Well, it really happened," he said. "That's all I can say. That's all I'm gonna say. It happened." This event, previously dramatized in the 1995 television movie Naomi and Winona, Love Can Build a Bridge, was a stark manifestation of the emotional turmoil within their relationship. Naomi then recalled a woman from the Northeast calling their home in Nashville in the 1980s, saying how much she loved and missed Strickland. When he returned home, Naomi recalled tearing up photos of the two of them and throwing his belongings into a garbage bag in their yard. During a tense moment in the docuseries, Strickland rewatched a scene from the Love Can Build a Bridge TV movie, where Kathleen York, who plays Naomi, shoots Bruce Greenwood, who plays Strickland, when she finds out he's cheated on her. Despite this, the couple remained together, navigating the complexities of their bond. In an interview in December 2022, Strickland reflected on the time he spent caring for his late wife. "For the past 13 years or more, I was with her 24/7, he said. "I never left the house without Naomi knowing where I was going and when I would be back. As far as taking care of myself, I'm not sure that fits my situation. When you have a mate that has a mental illness, you walk that path with them." Naomi's lifelong battle with mental health issues, including severe depression and anxiety, deeply impacted their marriage. In the months leading up to her death, Larry described their home life as very chaotic, hectic, noting that Naomi's energy levels had significantly declined despite ongoing therapy and medical treatment. He admitted to being unaware of the full extent of her psychological distress. Reflecting on this period, Larry expressed regret over his approach to supporting Naomi. He focused on practical aspects like encouraging her to eat and exercise, managing her medications, and ensuring she attended therapy sessions. In hindsight, he wished he had been more emotionally present, offering comfort and understanding rather than solutions. "If I had known where she was, I would have been much softer on her," he lamented. Despite the trials they faced, Larry remained devoted to Naomi until her passing. In the aftermath of her death, he found solace in the support of her daughters, Winona and Ashley Judd. The tragedy brought the family closer, as they leaned on each other to navigate their grief. Larry's candid revelations about their marriage and Naomi's struggles have shed light on the often hidden challenges within relationships. On May 15th, Strickland opened up about his late wife during her CMT special, Naomi Judd, A River of Time, named after her 2016 memoir that explored her battle with depression. Strickland spoke lovingly of Naomi, describing her as someone who had never met a stranger and enjoyed conversing with people. He recalled how she would start a conversation with anyone who made eye contact with her, often leading to lengthy standstill conversations on sidewalks as she discussed strangers' passions and their dogs, much to his displeasure. According to Taste of Country, Strickland also revealed that he had received a letter from a man who sat next to Naomi on the long flight from Vienna, Austria, to Nashville, Tennessee. The passenger said he enjoyed an entertaining, fascinating, and enlightening chat with Naomi, adding that she had an impact on him, even in such a short encounter. What a fantastic story, and great memory that happened shortly before Naomi's death. These remarks from Larry are significant because they marked the first time he publicly spoke since his wife's passing. Before this, he had only made a public statement shortly after Naomi's death. With the glam and fame came the struggles for Naomi to stay in the shadows. But where did her journey start from? Let's talk about her humble beginnings. A Southern tale of struggle and song. Before she became half of the legendary country duo, the Judds, Naomi Judd was just a girl named Diana Ellen Judd, growing up in the heart of small-town Kentucky. Long before the glittering awards and Grand Ole Opry's standing ovations, Naomi's story began in a modest home wrapped in the arms of Appalachian culture, where the strains of gospel and bluegrass wafted from radios and porches, and life was as raw as the tobacco leaves drying in the barns. Born on January 11, 1946, in Ashland, Kentucky, Naomi was the eldest of Charles and Pauline Judd's 4 children. Her father ran a gas station while her mother worked as a cook, and together they navigated the hardscrabble reality of post-war Southern living. Theirs was not a life of luxury. It was a life of grit, a theme that would run like a river through Naomi's entire life. From a young age, Naomi was different. Her eyes didn't just see the world, they questioned it. She wasn't content to simply grow up and follow a pre-written script. She dreamed, even when dreams seemed like luxuries they couldn't afford. Yet, her childhood was also marked by trauma. At just 18, she experienced the devastating loss of her younger brother, Brian, to leukemia. The event carved a permanent scar into her psyche, shaping her sense of impermanence and giving her an early education in grief. The Judd household, though loving, was not immune to the emotional weight of financial hardship and personal loss. Naomi would later speak candidly about the darkness that sometimes shadowed her early years, a depression that lingered, born of both circumstance and tragedy. But even in those early days, music served as a form of salvation. Her mother played piano in the local church, and Naomi absorbed hymns like oxygen, her voice learning how to find the notes even before she understood their meanings. High school brought a mix of promise and rebellion. She was intelligent, with a natural charisma, and sometimes found herself at odds with the rigid expectations of small-town girlhood. Pregnant at 17, Naomi made a choice that would redefine her life, raising her daughter, Winona, on her own after the father disappeared from their lives. It was an act of sheer determination and a preview of the resilience that would become her trademark. With her baby in tow, Naomi left Kentucky for California, a young mother with a head full of hopes and very little else. She kept her faith, working long hours to support her children. Yet it was in those years of struggle that something stirred, a longing for creative expression, a voice that wouldn't be silenced by life's burdens. And what a voice it was! Warm, gritty, and filled with emotion. As Winona grew older and began showing her own musical talent, Naomi saw a new path forming, a way to both support her daughter and finally honor her own dreams. The Judds were born not out of opportunity, but out of necessity, a mother and daughter clinging to each other and to the belief that music could be their way out. Naomi Judd's childhood was no fairy tale. It was laced with poverty, pain, and perseverance. But it was also rich with the stuff that country music is made of: faith, family, and a fierce belief in better days. And they did arrive. Naomi Judd's road to fame. After the birth of her second daughter, Ashley, and the end of her marriage to Simonella, Naomi raised both daughters as a single parent. She initially pursued a nursing career, attending nursing school at California's College of Marin while living near Lagunitas, California. Ashley, her second daughter, became a well-known film and stage actress. After her divorce, she decided to revert to her maiden name and took the opportunity to change her first name as well. She felt that her original name, Diana, did not resonate with her true heritage, rooted in spiritual and rural Kentucky. Instead, she chose to honor the biblical figure Naomi, finding a deep connection to Naomi's story of relocating to a new land and facing the challenge of raising two women alone after being left without a husband. The turning point in Naomi's life came when she and Winona started singing together at home and in local venues. Their natural harmonies and undeniable chemistry showcased a unique bond between mother and daughter. They were more than just a family. They were partners in a dream that gradually transformed into reality. Naomi and her daughter Winona Judd joined forces to create the successful singing duo, the Judds. They dominated the country music scene, achieving 20 top 10 hits, including 15 number ones, and remained unbeaten for 8 consecutive years at all 3 major country music awards shows. In 1983, the Judds received their big break when their tape caught the attention of RCA Records. Their remarkable success led to 5 Grammy Awards and numerous other accolades. Naomi received a Grammy for Country Song of the Year for her composition, Love Can Build a Bridge. But like everything Naomi has ever known, this duo, whose voices captivated fans, soon became the story of the past. The Judds disbanded shortly after Naomi Judd was diagnosed with hepatitis C in 1991. Their farewell concert became the most successful musical event in cable pay per view history. Following her diagnosis, Naomi established the Naomi Judd Education and Research Fund in 1991 to raise awareness of hepatitis C. She also became a spokesmodel for the American Liver Foundation, drawing strength from her experiences. 1993, she received the Golden Plate Award from the American Academy of Achievement. However, the Judds reunited for a New Year's Eve concert in Phoenix at the America West Arena in 1993, with Ashley as the MC. They reunited again in 2000 for their Power to Change tour, performing for over 300,000 people on 30 dates. The duo was nominated as the Academy of Country Music's Top Vocal Duo of the Year in 2001. From 2003 to 2004, Naomi served as a judge on the revamped version of Star Search, hosted by Arsenio Hall. She began hosting Naomi's New Morning, a Sunday morning talk show on the Hallmark Channel in 2005, which lasted 2 seasons. Also, Naomi authored several self-help books, including Naomi's Guide to Aging Gratefully, Facts, Myths, and Good News for Boomers, in 2007. In 2008, Judd joined the television reality competition series Can You Duet, as a judge and mentor aired on CMT. In 2017, she competed with her husband, Larry Strickland, in the first season of the Fox Broadcasting reality cooking series, My Kitchen Rules. In 2021, she was inducted into the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame as one of the first members. But Naomi was never just one thing. She was always evolving. When chronic hepatitis C forced her into early retirement from music, she shifted her focus to something that had long intrigued her: acting. How did her acting adventure pan out? Let's find out. Naomi Judd, the actress. Naomi Judd's foray into acting was no vanity project. It was another chapter in a life driven by creativity. Her screen debut came in 1979 with the nostalgic comedy More American Graffiti, a sequel to George Lucas's 1973 classic. While the role was small, it opened the door to a new kind of stage for Naomi. In 1993, Naomi Judd landed her first leading role in the made-for-TV Western Rio Diablo, starring opposite country legend Kenny Rogers. She played a strong-willed frontier woman, a role that mirrored her real-life persona. Around the same time, she made memorable guest appearances on popular television series like Sisters, The Client, Third Rock from the Sun, and Touched by an Angel, where her warmth and charisma translated effortlessly onto the screen. Naomi wasn't just content to act, she wanted to tell stories, especially her own. In 1995, she served as executive producer on Naomi and Winona, Love Can Build a Bridge, a made-for-TV film based on her autobiography. It told the powerful story of how a single mother and daughter rose from poverty to country stardom, a tale that resonated with fans who saw themselves in Naomi's grit. In 1999, she starred in the Hallmark drama A Holiday Romance as Lily Waite, and that same year appeared in Family Tree, a heartfelt film that delved into family dynamics and reconciliation. In 2001, she took on a supporting role in Someone Like You, a romantic comedy starring her real-life daughter, Ashley Judd. It was a quiet, full-circle moment, mother and daughter, both now accomplished performers, sharing the screen. Naomi's acting career continued well into the next decades. In 2011, she starred alongside Laura Prepon in the Lifetime thriller The Killing Game. 2 years later, she returned to the Hallmark Channel in Nearly Weds and Window Wonderland, embracing her niche in family-friendly storytelling. In 2014, she played the role of Honey in the Netflix holiday film An Evergreen Christmas, once again showing her range as a character actress. Her final major screen role came in 2021, when she portrayed the stern but complex grandmother in the Lifetime adaptation of V.C. Andrews' Gothic novel, Ruby. Even in her later years, Naomi's performances retained a grounded authenticity that connected with audiences. While she was able to turn the tides around, moving from being a pauper to an admirable stand in the music and acting world, it cost her something dear: the cost of fame. From being a nurse to becoming a country music sensation overnight with hits like Mama He's Crazy and Why Not Me. Her fame soared, but it challenged Naomi. The transition from nurse to superstar overwhelmed her. The spotlight brought immense pressure with the demands of touring, recording, and being Naomi Judd 24/7. While she seemed poised in front of the cameras and on stage, few knew about her personal sacrifices and inner turmoil behind the scenes. The first signs of trouble accompanied the height of success. As Naomi and Winona's harmonies resonated on the airwaves, their songs became anthems of an era. Despite the adoration and accolades, the demands of fame took a toll on Naomi. The relentless pace and mounting pressure led to Naomi Judd's severe first health scare, reminding her that fame couldn't fix everything, and that some battles were fought in private amidst the gold records and standing ovations. Naomi encountered a diagnosis that not only posed a challenge to her career, but also to her life. This new reality compelled her to face her mortality. Although Naomi's health battle became widely known in the early 1990s, when she was diagnosed with hepatitis C in 1991, Naomi, who contracted the virus during her time as a nurse, was given a prognosis of 3 years to live by her doctors. As the reality of her illness sank in, Naomi stepped away from the spotlight to prioritize her health. She aggressively pursued treatment, exploring both traditional and alternative medicine. Her fight against hepatitis C was lengthy and challenging, filled with uncertainty and the constant struggle to maintain hope. During this time, Naomi's mental health also began to deteriorate. The stress of her illness, combined with the loss of her performing career, led her into a deep and paralyzing depression. In candid interviews later on, she would reveal the darkness she experienced during those times and the tremendous effort it took to find light on days when the weight of her world felt overwhelming. However, the children's successes brought joy to Naomi, even as she navigated her health crisis. Amid her battle, Naomi Judd became a dedicated advocate for hepatitis C awareness. By 1998, she defied the odds and declared herself free of the virus, a victory she attributed to her faith, family, and unwavering determination. This triumph was a personal milestone and a beacon of hope for others fighting the disease. Naomi's resilience was tested once again as she continued to face mental health challenges, yet she remained open about her struggles, becoming a voice for those silently suffering. Her advocacy work expanded to include mental health, where she aimed to destigmatize depression and anxiety, particularly among individuals in the public eye. The story of Naomi Judd is not just that of a legendary country music artist. It's also a tale of a woman who, when confronted with life's harshest trials, chose to fight with grace and utilize her experiences to illuminate the path for others. As Naomi Judd emerged triumphant from her battle against hepatitis C, her tale of resilience began to ignite inspiration among many. As she marked a significant milestone in her health journey, the lingering effects of the disease continued to take a toll on her mental well-being. Despite this, Naomi chose to be transparent about her ongoing struggles with depression, a condition that affects numerous individuals but is often concealed, especially in the entertainment industry. Her advocacy efforts became deeply personal as she fearlessly shared her own experiences with mental health. She spoke at events and wrote a book chronicling her arduous path, shattering barriers and sparking essential conversations surrounding mental health, especially within the realm of celebrities. The Fallen Star. Naomi Judd passed away at the age of 76 on April 30, 2022. Her tragic death occurred less than 3 weeks after she and her daughter, Naomi Judd, announced a comeback tour for their country music duo, the Judds, scheduled for the fall of 2022. Naomi's passing was especially touching as it came just one day before she and Naomi were inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame for their groundbreaking contributions to country music. Despite the heart-wrenching loss, Naomi and her sister, Ashley Judd, attended the ceremony to accept the honor on Naomi's behalf. Naomi Judd tragically took her own life at her beloved home in Leiper's Fork, Tennessee. The autopsy later confirmed that the cause was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, a heartbreaking end to a life that had touched so many. Her daughters, Naomi and Ashley, released a soul-stirring statement that captured the weight of their grief. Today, we sisters endured a tragedy that feels almost too immense to put into words. We lost our radiant, beautiful mother to the cruel grip of mental illness. Our hearts are shattered. We are adrift in a sea of sorrow, trying to make sense of a world without her. As deeply as we loved her, we know the world did too. She was cherished, celebrated, and now she is mourned by many. We find ourselves in uncharted territory, walking through a fog of grief, but holding on to one another as we try to find light again. Naomi's passing serves as a painful reminder of the silent battles so many fight behind closed doors, even those who seem larger than life. During the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, Winona expressed her grief and gratitude, saying, "I'm going to make this fast because my heart's broken and I feel so blessed. It's a bizarre dynamic to be this broken and blessed. Though my heart's broken, I will continue to sing because that's what we do." In honor of her mother, Winona continued the planned 2022 tour. She invited special guests to join her on stage each night in place of Naomi, ensuring that the legacy of the Judds lived on through their music. Naomi's autopsy also confirmed that she left a self-harm note, adding another layer of heartbreak to her family's loss. In January 2023, Radar Online obtained and released a photo of Naomi Judd's self-harm note. Written on a yellow sticky note, it read, "Do not let Y come to my funeral. She has a mental illness." The word "not" was underlined. Despite this, Winona did attend her mother's funeral. A private funeral for family members and loved ones was held on May 7, 2022, in Tennessee, with Ashley revealing that Naomi had planned the entire service before her death. In addition to the private service, a public memorial titled Naomi Judd, a River of Time celebration, took place on May 15, 2022, at the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville. This event was broadcast on CMT and featured performances from Winona, Brandi Carlile, and others. Naomi had a will in which she appointed her husband of 33 years, Larry Strickland, as executor of her estate. Prepared in 2017, the will did not include Winona and Ashley. Despite rumors of a feud over the will, Winona clarified that there was no argument between her and her sister. She told People in October 2022 that she and Ashley had great lives, and it wouldn't make sense for them to fight over the estate. Winona mentioned that she and Ashley would split their mother's estate after Larry's death. She emphasized that contesting the will never crossed her mind, stating that she wasn't savvy enough to consider such actions and didn't think it was worth pursuing. Although Naomi Judd was not physically ill, she battled mental illness for many years. Her autopsy revealed the presence of prescription substances used to treat post-traumatic stress disorder and bipolar disorder. "An unfair foe dogged our matriarch," Naomi's family said. "She was treated for PTSD and bipolar disorder, to which millions of Americans can relate." Naomi had been candid about her mental health struggles over the years. She disclosed that her depression worsened significantly after the Judds' last encore tour in 2012, attributing her condition to suppressed memories of child molestation. During this period, she admitted to having self-harm thoughts, but refrained from acting on them because she didn't want a loved one to find her body. Naomi was diagnosed with treatment-resistant depression, a term she explained was fitting given the extensive range of treatments she had been prescribed. Her experience had been a trial of nearly every available option in the medical arsenal. Despite her struggles, Naomi's determination was to emerge from her ordeal with a message of hope. If she could survive, she wanted others to know they could too. Her openness about her battles with depression was a beacon of resilience for those facing similar challenges. The Judds' unique family bond. Although the public did not see them as a close-knit family, privately, they supported each other unwaveringly through the highs and lows of fame and personal struggles. The Judds were more than just a musical act. They were a family thrust into the public eye, dealing with the unique pressures of fame. Naomi's legacy lies in the authenticity and openness with which she addressed her life struggles. Her daughters Winona and Ashley continue to honor their mother's memory by championing the causes she believed in and embodying her spirit in their ongoing work. They uphold her values of family resilience and the importance of compassion for those grappling with their mental health. When remembering Naomi, fans and fellow artists often recount stories of her kindness, spirited personality, and powerful presence both on and off stage. These personal anecdotes add depth to her public image, revealing the multifaceted nature of her character. The Naomi Judd Education and Research Fund stands as a lasting tribute, serving as a beacon for those battling hepatitis C and providing funding for cutting-edge research that can save lives. From a humble rural Eastern American upbringing to center stage in country music, and later onto screens big and small, Naomi Judd lived many lives. Each phase, nurse, singer, mother, author, actress, was shaped by her unyielding spirit. Her legacy isn't just in her songs or films, it's in the courage it took to keep reinventing herself, no matter where life took her. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out another interesting video by clicking on the video shown on your screen. See you on the other side.